اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على
एक और आवाज़ बुलंद नारे सलमान। This is the night of Shamil Bariwa, and when nobody was left, Imam Hussein was lying on the ground. There was only one lady who was there with the Imam Hussein, was his mother, Janabi Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. These are the words when she was crying on Imam Hussein. She was doing the band, so if you can listen to the word, what she was saying. नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, लाल में दुख पाई हूँ, मैं तुझे खुल्द से रोने के लिए आई हूँ, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा। दश्त में बिनते नबी आशकों से मुँह धोती है, तेरी मज़लूमी पर इस वक्त कजा होती है, जख्म तू खाता है तकलीफ मुझे होती है, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा। दाग मोहसिन का मदीने में उठाया मैंने, पसलियाँ टूट गई और छुपाया मैंने, चैन तुरबात में भीख पल को न पाया मैंने, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, ये तो है नूर नजर याद तुझे भी होगा, किस मशक्क़त से तुझे पीस के चकी पाला, खून रिश्ता है हथेली से अभी तक बेटा, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, वादे तिफ़्ल की हर बात निभाई जिसने, फूल से जिस्म पे तलवार बिठाई जिसने, तू वो बेकस है कि तुरबात भी न पाई जिसने, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, करबला डूब चुकी खून में दिल ढलने लगा, मुंतज़िर बैठे हैं जन्नत में रसूले दूसरा, लाल अब देर न कर माँ के गले से लग जा, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, खून की चादर तो हटाओ के मैं दीदार करूं, अपनी ममता का भला किस तरह इज़हार करूं, हर जगह तीर है बेबास्त, कहाँ प्यार करूं, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, नाले रंजो अलम तश्ना दहन लाई हूँ, रख के इन होठों पर फरियाद महन लाई हूँ, मैं तेरे वास्ते अश्कों का कफन लाई हूँ, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा, लाल मैं दुख पाई हूँ, मैं तुझे खुल्द से रोने के लिए आई हूँ, नाम ज़हरा है मेरा। मेरा सलवा
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد.
घबराएंगी घबराएंगी किस मुंह से मदीने की तरफ जाएंगी घबराएंगी किस तरह लुटे काफिले ले जाएंगी घबराएंगी कैसा ये भरा घर हुआ बर्बाद इलाही क्या तबाही अब इसको ना अब्बास कभी पाएंगी घबराएंगी हट जाएगा बस देखते ही घर को कलेजा याद आओगे भैया दिल ढूंढेगा तुमको तो कहाँ पाएंगी घबराएंगी बेपर्दा हुई कैद भी खबर न उठाई और मौत न आई क्या जाने क्या क्या भी दुख पाएंगी घबराएंगी ज़ैनब, घर जाके किसे देखेंगी, कासिम है ना अब्बास, अकबर भी नहीं पास, अपने अली असगर को कहाँ पाएंगी ज़ैनब, घबराएंगी ज़ैनब। नन्हा सा मुसाफिर अली असगर भी तो भैया घर में न मिलेगा, किसे दिले बेताब को बहलाएंगी ज़ैनब, घबराएंगी ज़ैनब। पूछेंगे जो सब लोग के बाजू पे हुआ क्या, ये नील है कैसा, ये नील है कैसा, किस किस को इशारसी के दिखलाएंगी ज़ैनब, घबराएंगी ज़ैनब, घबराएंगी ज़ैनब।
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
نشبت لال به هنگام ممات، هر زبانی که فرستد به محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
If anybody can repeat this, گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شد. It's easy. گلها, flowers of Zahra, it's پرپر. گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شد. گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، 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 به کربلا از دم خنجر شده، به کربلا از دم خنجر شده. این سر از کیست که بر روی زمین مانده تنش، از سر نیزه همی می‌نگرد به دخترش. این سر از کیست که از تشنه لبی گشته هلاک، این سر از کیست که با پای ستوران شده له، این سر از کیست که با پای ستوران شده له. گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، به کربلا از دم خنجر شده. این سر از کیست که بر نیزه کین جلوه گر است یا ابا عبدالله؟ این بدن از کیست که در خون سرش گشت صفا؟ این سر از کیست که دائم به یتیمان نگرد؟ این سر از کیست که بر روی اسیران نگرد؟ گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، به کربلا از دم خنجر شده. آی به قربون سرها که بر نیزه شد، سوی شام و سوقات و آورده شد. آی به قربون آن گونه های عزیز که با خاک و خون آغشته شد. آی به قربون آن گونه های عزیز که با خاک و خون سرآغشته شد. گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، به کربلا از دم خنجر شده، از دم خنجر شده. آی به قربون تنهای عریان به دشت، وای به اون سر که قرآن بخواند به تشت. آی به قربون تنهای عریان به دشت، وای به اون سر که قرآن بخواند به تشت. گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، گلهای زهرا همه پرپر شده، به کربلا از دم خنجر شده. صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد. اللهم صل على محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فریاد محمد صلی علی سرننگ دارا جان. فریاد محمد صلی علی سرننگ دارا جان. در سر فاطمہ زہرا دا اکیلے قیامات ستائیاں نے. فریاد محمد صلی علی سرننگ زہرا جان. وارث کوئی آیا نہیں، خدا پاسک سے پرتایا نہیں. خدا وارث کوئی آیا نہیں، خدا پاسک سے پرتایا نہیں. خدا لاشا کسے نے چایا نہیں، جن سب یا لاشاں چایا. فریاد محمد صلی علی سرننگ دارا جان. تھوڑا شاتا خالی آیا ہے، پگ پاک رسول دلے آیا ہے. تھوڑا شاتا خالی آیا ہے، پگ پاک رسول دلے آیا ہے. جوانیاں کیرا پایا ہے، بے بس رج قربان. فریاد محمد صلی علی سرننگ دارا جان. دو کلیاں شہ لولاک دیاں، آیات کلام پاک دیاں. دو کلیاں شہ لولاک دیاں، आयात कलाम पाक दिया सिर पाके चतरा खाक दिया नाने नू तेरू दुहाई फरियाद मुहम्मद सल्ले अला सरनंगे ज़ारा जाया फरियाद मुहम्मद सल्ले अला ले रोज़े रसूल ते केरा पा के अभी पियां बाब नाना बाबे लाल ले रोज़े रसूल ते केरा पा के अभी पियां नाना बाबे ला सचत दिती यारा के खुदा चन दिती साढ़े आसान फरियाद सर्व
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Assalamualaikum. Tomorrow is our last Majlis, same time. Inshallah, start with Maghrib. And today, as I announced in the afternoon, we have downstairs is full, so if there is bags outside, please take them to your home. If anybody needs to go to the bathroom urgently, just contact me or Abbas Beg and we will drive you to the nearest restroom. I'll ask Manana to come to the Salawat.
Let's recite Allah Yujib together 5 times for Sister Anis Dar, for Brother Sayyid Muhammad Saqnain, for all those who've been affected by Hurricane Matthew, for all mu'mineen, mu'minat, all Muslimeen, Muslimat, and anyone who's been affected, victimized, terrorized, oppressed throughout the land. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 صلى الله صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء صلى الله عليك يا أخا الحسن المجتبى صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا سيد الشهداء صلى الله عليك يا غريب الغرباء قد قتلت عطشانا قد قتلت عطشانا قد قتلت عطشانا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره. On the 7th of Muharram, when the water was finished in the tents of Hussein, that's when the children began crying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. On the 8th of Muharram, the children continued crying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. On the 9th of Muharram, they continued, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. In the morning of Ashura, they continued, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. After Asr al-Ashura, when the sun set on the plains of Karbala, when Sham-e-Ghaiba started, there is no riwayat that we have in any book of any child saying Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. Was it because the children received water? No, they hadn't received anything yet. Why did they stop saying Al-Atash? Why did they stop crying about their thirst? Was it the shock from seeing the heads of their fathers and brothers on spears? Was it the shock from seeing their tents being burnt down? Was it because the first time in their lives they'd seen their mothers, their sisters, without their hijab in front of men? Was it because Ammu Abbas didn't come back? Was it because finally now Hussein was not with them anymore? Their hearts were so broken. They lost all hope of finding any water. This is why they didn't cry anymore. Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, Azadan and Hussein, you've spent this day reciting A'mal, Dua, Ziyarat. You've been crying as much as you can for Hussein, for his Shahada. You've been giving your porsa to Bibi Fatima. By now, your bodies have been tired a bit from being out all day. You controlled what you ate today. You controlled the amount of water you had. You had very little to eat and drink, I know. Physically, you're tired. Emotionally, you're tired. Now imagine how the women and children are feeling this night at Sham al-Ghaiba. Tell me if your feeling matters at all. Can you understand how tired they must be? After Shimr has cut the head of Hussein off, now Umar ibn Sa'd gives 3 specific orders to the Lashkar at this point. 3 specific orders that we must recite tonight. The first order he gives to the army is that now go out and loot the bodies of the people at Karbala. These mal'oon, they went out and they took everything they could. They ran to the body of Hussein. They took his sword, they took his shield, they took his armor, they took everything from him. Even though Hussein had ripped his clothes from top to bottom, they still wanted to take this from him. They left Hussein's body there, Oriyan, with nothing left on him on the plains of Karbala. One mal'oon saw the ring of Hussein and they said, I wanted this. And they tried to pull it off, but they couldn't take it off. So he took out a dagger and began cutting the finger of Hussein. After Hussein's body had been looted, and there was nothing left but the bodies sitting there, Oriyan, on the plains of Karbala, Umar ibn Sa'd la'anatullah alayhi gives his second order. He said, now, soldiers, take your horses, line them up and begin trampling the bodies of the men. The bodies of the Shuhada were placed in one line side by side. And when this happened, first, the tribe of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyah came forward and said, Ya ibn Sa'd, if the body of Hur comes and is trampled, then we'll go to war with you. So he said, fine. They pulled the body of Hur back. The family, the tribe of Muslim ibn Awsajah came forward and said, if his body is trampled, we'll go to war with you. They gave him ijazah, they pulled his body away. The family of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn came forward, they pulled his body away. The family of Akbar came forward, they took his body away. Abbas, they took his body away. All Muhammad, every single body was taken back until the only body left in Karbala was Hussein. Gharib Hussein was tanha, sitting, laying there by himself with nothing. When nobody spoke for Hussein, then Umar ibn Sa'd said, 10 of my best horsemen go, line up and trample the body of Hussein. These men, these soldiers went back and forth over and over, destroying the body of Hussein. Ya Hussein. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, Asadarane Hussein. They've taken everything from the bodies. They've trampled the body of Hussein. Now the third order is given by Ibn Sa'd. He says, now look towards the tents behind you. Whatever you want, take from the tents. Go and loot from the tents, take whatever you want from them. The soldiers came in, they ran inside the tents, they took all what they could find. They took the hijab of the women, they took the chadars of the women, they took their jewelry, whatever there was, they took from them. Finally, when this was done, he gave one final order. He said, now that we've taken everything from the men, we've taken everything from the women, we've taken everything from the children, now set fire to these tents. One by one, the tents began burning. Zainab, she is the defender, she's the supporter. She begins taking the women and children one by one from one tent to another. As they burnt down one tent, she moved them to another. They would burn down that tent, she would move them to another one by one until there was nothing left, until they came to the tent of Imam Sajjad. Imam Sajjad Abd Bimar Zayn. That tent began to be set on fire. Zainab says to him now, before she used to address him as her nephew, and now she says, Ya Imam, Ya Imam, should we stay in this tent and burn, or do we walk outside with our hijab? What do we do? Imagine now Imam Sajjad, he's now the Imam of all of them. What is the first hukam that he has to give? Either he has to tell Zainab to sit there, all the women and children to burn and die in the tent, or he has to give a fatwa and a hukum that no, you have to go out and women and the men will have to see all the women and children without their hijab. What kind of position is this Imam put in? No, he says, no, Zainab, my aunt, Ammati, saving our lives is wajib, we have to go outside. This is Zainab who's been crying since the morning, since the afternoon. She's been saying, Wa Husayna, Wa Husayna, Wa Mazluma, Wa Ghariba. And now, their cry, their nida changes to Wa Hijaba, Wa Hijaba. One of the witnesses at Karbala, he says, I saw a lady at Karbala without hijab running in and out of the burning tents. It's as if she was looking for something inside, and then I saw her dragging a young man outside of the tent. This was Zainab saving Imam. The children were running on every side in all directions. The final tent had been burned. Zainab was trying to collect, and Kulthum was trying to collect all the children to gather them in one area. When the soldiers saw the young 4-year-old daughter, Sakina, they went up to her. When they saw her running, they grabbed her. When Shimmer got a hold of Sakina, when Sakina tried to run away, Shimmer lifted his hand in the air and slapped Sakina. Another soldier came, another one came, set his eyes on the earrings of Sakina. Before even asking, without saying anything, began to pull the earrings away from Sakina's ears. When they wouldn't come, he pulled by force until they ripped from her ears and blood began to pour from her. Ya Sakina. Oh Mal'oon, if you want the rings, just ask and Sakina will take them off for you. Another soldier comes. He takes a stick of fire and begins burning the dress of Sakina. And now Sakina is on fire, running around all over Karbala. A witness in Karbala says, I saw a young girl running around. Her ears were bleeding. Her dress was set on fire. I caught her and I put out the fire on her dress. She said to me, Ya Sheikh, don't put your hands on me. Don't you know? Nahnu Ahlul Bayt. No man can touch me. I said to her, little girl, I just want to put out the fire. I don't mean anything. I don't have any ill intentions. Sakina stopped for a second. She tried to compose herself. She hasn't seen anybody with this much rahmah in 10 days. Ya Sheikh, you seem like you have some mercy in your heart. You seem like you have a kind heart. Will you do me one small favor? She said, Ya Binti, what do you want from me? Tell me, little girl, what can I do for you? She says, can you show me how to get to Najaf? Show me which way is Najaf. This little girl, Najaf is very far away. Why do you want to go to Najaf? What do you want to do there? What do you have to do in Najaf? Don't you know my Dada is there? My Jaddi is in Najaf. I have to go tell my Dada, my Jadda, that they killed my Ammu Abbas. They killed my Abba. They killed Hussein. They even killed my brother Asghar. They've left nobody left. They even take my Zainab's children away. We have nothing. I want to complain to my Dada. Zainab bin Kulthum began gathering the children and making a head count to make sure everybody was there. The women were still in shock. The children were still crying. They were in their mother's laps. Maybe this is when Rabab was sitting there, rocking the burnt cradle of Asghar back and forth, wondering where is my Shaheed Asghar. Rabab still feels the warmth of her baby in her arms, but there's nothing left. Crying, saying, Aina Asghari? Where is my Asghar? When Zainab and Kulthum began counting and finishing their count, they realized, Aina Amanatul Hussein? Where is Sakinatul Hussein? Where is Ruqayya? We don't see her anywhere. They realized she's ran out into the desert of Karbala. In the darkest of nights, Zainab and Kulthum go out looking for Sakina, looking for Ruqayya. They go back and forth, and as they go and see, they see two children lying, hugging each other on the plains of Karbala. They thought maybe these children were crying so much they fell asleep. So Zainab says to Kulthum, you pick up one child, I'll pick up the other. As they pick up one, and Zainab picks up one, Kulthum picks up the other. When they realize something, they begin saying out loud, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So these children were trampled by the horses and all the chaos. They put these bodies down. They go back out looking for Sakina until they reach the river Furat. When Zainab reaches there, she says, Ya Abbas, have you seen Sakina anywhere? Abbasi, tell me where my Sakina went. At that point, Zainab saw that there was an old man taking his horse away from the river. She stopped the old man, Ya Sheikh, have you seen any little girl around here? Any 4-year-old girl running around here? He says, no, I haven't seen any girl like this, but if you go in that direction over there, you'll see, I went there. In that direction, I heard the cries of a little girl. When I was going to give my horse water in this river Furat, I heard the cry of this little girl, and she was crying so loudly, and my horse became so scared that he refused to drink any more water. Go in that direction, and maybe you'll find this girl you're looking for. Zainab goes forward. She sees a big hole in the sand. When she goes forward and looks inside, she sees Sakina laying next to a body, laying next to the bottom of the body. She says, Sakina, Sakina, Ruqayya, Ruqayya. And Zainab hears a voice, Zainab, Aista, quiet Zainab, not so loud, my Sakina's trying to sleep. My Sakina's just fallen asleep, don't be so loud, Zainab. Zainab begins to carry Sakina away. She tries to tell Sakina, why did you come down next to this body? Who is this? It's like, don't you know, this is my Baba, this is my Abba, this is my Abada. Sakina, if this is your Baba, why are you sleeping near his feet? Why aren't you sleeping on his chest? She says, Ammati, Zainab, his chest has been trampled so bad that I couldn't find anywhere to lay down. I couldn't find any sukoon, so I had to lay down by his feet. Sakina, Ruqayya, this body has no head, this body has no clothes, there's no way to identify this body. How do you know that this is Hussein? How do you know that this is your Abba? How do you know this is your Baba? It's Ammati Zainab. When I ran out into Karbala, when I ran out to the desert calling out Baba, Baba, Abada, Abada, I heard a voice calling from this body, Ilayya, Ilayya, Bunayya, Bunayya. Sakina, Aja. Come sleep with your Baba one more time. Zainab took her little Amana in her lap. She carried her back to the tents, back to the Khayyam. She kept her near the burnt tents. Finally, the children were able to go to sleep, and Zainab began guarding the children. Suddenly, Zainab bint Ali saw a light in the distance. She walked towards this light, and she saw a woman coming towards her with food and with some different khuddam and servants. Zainab went closer and she saw that it was the wife of Hud ibn Yazid. When Zainab saw the wife of Hud, she came and said, Ya zawjatul Hur, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Says, I'm sending you my condolences on the loss of your great husband Hud. She says, Ya al-Masa'ib, you're giving me condolences? You've lost everything, Zainab. How can you give me condolences? The wife of Hur had some water with her and some food with her. Don't ask me how Zainab must have felt when she finally saw water after so many days. This is the water that Akbar was begging for. This is the water that Asghar was begging for. This is the water that Abbas went out for. Finally, she took the water and began going to the children. She ran to Sakina and said, wake up, my Sakina. Wake up, my Ruqayya. The water is finally here. The water is finally here for you. You're the youngest, so you can have the water first. When she wakes up and she grabs the water from her and she goes running behind the tent. She says, Sakina, where are you going? He says, Ammati, you said the youngest needs to have water first. I'm going to find my Asghar, my brother. The youngest is supposed to have water first. I have to go give water to my brother Asghar. He's so thirsty. No, Sakina, Asghar's gone. He's not coming back. Then Zainab took the water, began giving the water to Sakina and to all the children one by one. Finally, the children were able to sleep in peace. The darkness finally spread over the land of Karbala. Zainab now, when everybody had fallen asleep, when everyone had finally reached their peace, Imam Sajjad and Bibi Zainab go into sujood and they say, La ilaha illallah, haqqan, haqqan. La ilaha illallah, haqqan, haqqan. Over and over again they recite this. Zainab now picks a broken sphere that she finds and she sits at the broken tent in front of all the children and women and began guarding them. And she says, maybe she turns to Furat now and says, Ya Abbas, before you were protecting us. Abbas, you were on guard. You were watching over all the tents and all the women and children. Now look at your sister Zainab. Look who has a spear in her hand. Zainab has become Abbas. Now I'm the Mudafi'. Now I'm the Hafid. Now I'm the protector. Zainab says that she saw somebody coming towards the tent on a horse. Zainab went in front of him like the daughter of Ali would and screamed, don't you dare come any closer. Don't you know what we've been going through? You've taken everything from us. Everyone is gone. There's nothing left for you to steal. What more do you want of us? The rider kept coming closer and closer, slowly and slowly. Zainab still keeps saying to him, stop, stop, don't come any closer. She raises her spear. The soldier, this horseman comes right in front of him with his face covered. Zainab grabs the reins of the horse. She says, don't you know who I am? Ana Zainab bint Ali. I'm the daughter of Ali. If you come any closer, I'll call my father from Najaf. The rider removes his veil. It says, Zainab, don't you recognize me? Sakina has been calling me. Ana Abi Ali. Zainab collapses at the feet of her father. Abada, Abada, where have you been? Abada, where were you when Akbar fell? Where were you when the spear was taken out of Akbar's chest? Abada, Abada, where were you when the hands of my Abbas were cut off? Baba, where were you when Asghar was slaughtered like a camel? Baba, where were you? Where were you when Shimmer was sitting on the chest of Hussein? Baba, where were you when Shimmer was slapping the face of your Sakina? Oh, Husseina! Wa Mabluma! Wa Ghariba! And now Wa Zainaba! Wa Zainaba! Wa Zainaba! Wa Zainaba!
Salam.
नशीनों पे सोगवानों का गरीब देते हैं पुरसा तुम्हारे प्यारों का सलाम उन पे जिन्हें शर्म खाए जाती है खुले सरों पे असीरी की खाक आती है सलाम उन पे जो ज़हमते कशे सलासिल है मुसीबतों में अमामत की पहली मंजिल है सलाम भेजते हैं अपनी शाहज़ादी के जिसको सौंप गए मरते वक्त सरवर मुसाफिरत ने जिसे बेबसी दिखलाई निसार कर दिए बच्चे न बच सका असीर हो के जिसे शामियों के नरगे